Okay, welcome back to Community Roundup for March 13th, 2024 for Cosmic Reach. Today, Cosmic Reach 0.1.4 came out, and it's mostly bug fixes in addition to this increased runtime texture atlas size for blocks. But then soon thereafter, Cosmic Reach 0.1.5 came out, which just reverted that change. And you can see all the skull emojis here, unfortunately. Another thing I noticed were two things really. One of them is the block selection is now a wireframe, so that's when you're looking at a block in the game and there's whatever block you're looking at highlights with a black bold outline. It's no longer looks like that. It's not as bold as it was. Now it's just a little wireframe outline. So similar to what you might see in Minecraft. So it's not so in the way. It's not so obvious, which is something that I did complain about in my first impressions video. So I'm glad to see that change. And the second thing is the debug screen. When you hit F3 and you look at a block, it now shows you the ID of the block that you're looking at instead of the ID of the block that's at your player's feet, which wasn't very interesting because the only time that would ever really do something is if you were clipped into a block or if you were standing in something like water. The next thing I want to talk about is the Discord server, the left side here, the channel list. Once again, I have to talk about this because I've been going through many different changes with all this stuff. I've been sitting on a lot of different organization ideas I wanted to do, and I try to balance things with how they originally were in the server because I don't want to change things too much just to my preferences. And I do tell the other moderators that if they want to change anything back, that's totally fine, and obviously all open to compromise and everything. But there were a whole bunch of organization things that I wanted to change. So I did make those changes, and I got channel descriptions for every single channel. I got new categories going. We have administration category, we have a bulletin category for channels that's only Final for each or moderators can post in. We have a discussion category for discussion channels such as general chat, which is all about Cosmic Reach chat, and then we have the off-topic chat. And then we have onboarding, which is all the welcome messages. We've enabled the wave hi button. We also have the mod dev channel, which hasn't changed at all. That's for mod makers, mod developers. And then the next one is wiki developers. And this is a new one. So that's another thing I'll talk about in a sec here. And then down here in the new category, creativity, this is where we have mostly for sharing things. So we have sharing screenshots, so share your in-game screenshots. And then we have the world downloads channel, same as before. We have the gameplay videos channel, same as before, of course. We have the fan music channel and the fan art channel. And the more I hang around the fan music channel, the more I like it. There is a lot of really good stuff being posted in here, and you're going to be seeing more and more fan music in my videos as background music. Later today, I'm going to have a video coming out, which is my pre-alpha world part 4. And at the beginning, I have a cinematic of me kind of going around the observatory building. And I use a custom song for that in the background, and then I use another custom song later on in the video, and I think I'm going to be doing that more often. I'm going to be using custom songs that the community makes rather than music from Minecraft so much. And then when you move on from that, we have forums down here, the forums category. I finished the issues category, or the issues channel, so all of the threads here I went back and retroactively tagged all of them. In the mods channel, before the data tag used to be changed to texture because I noticed that every single data mod was specifically for textures. But I had a conversation with Lee, the other moderator, and he suggested that we change it back to data because technically a texture mod is a data mod. It's modding the game through that built-in JSON system. And you can also have mods that aren't texture related that are still data related. So we did change that tag back. And two little threads here that I want to point out in the suggestions channel. One of them is for custom emojis. We have a lot of server boosters now, so we can do all kinds of custom emojis. So if you have any that you'd like to submit, go ahead and submit them here. Okay, so returning back to the wiki dev channel. Final for each did publish the official wiki today, and if we look at the pinned messages here, I have a link to the official wiki. So it's cosmicreach.wiki.gg, and it's not very developed yet. There's just a few things here. So The UI is actually quite small, so I won't be on here for too long. But you got the logo up here, and then down here you have main pages, and we have many different types of blocks here. And if you just click on one, you get a bunch of data about it. If you look at the right-hand side here, I know it's hard to see, so I'll get off this really quick. There's just different data about the block that comes from the source code, and then some descriptions and things like that, and some trivia. And this is actively being worked on. I know that Final 4 Each was trying to get some wiki admins on here to help manage it. And that won't be me, because it feels like managing the Discord server is already a full-time job. It's just a whole lot of activity in there. And then we have version history, which is going to be descriptions and potentially archives, maybe, about all previous versions of the game, so that they don't get lost to time. And I'm sure there will be a lot more here in the future, so take a look if you're interested. And if you're interested in contributing and talking to other wiki developers, feel free to post in this channel. It is getting a lot of activity right now. Another quick thing I want to point out is that the server membership is currently at 928. So I think tomorrow we should probably hit 1,000, which is pretty crazy considering the server's only been around now for, I think, 4 full days, and it's already almost at 1,000. Now I'm going to quickly go over a few interesting builds or graphics that people have made. So in the fan art channel here, we have Piper with an alien concept. As everyone knows, we're currently on the moon, and this game is going to be more and more incorporating other planets, planet generation, that kind of thing. So it makes sense to have some kind of alien creature, I suppose. And I thought this was pretty charming. Just a very smooth model. Looks very friendly. I don't know. I like it a lot. And then down here, he actually refined it a bit, or maybe like the opposite of refine. It's much more gritty looking. It's just a different art style. And I said in a comment here that it reminded me of I think it's called the Nihilith from Half-Life 1. The main boss at the end is very reminiscent of that. I like it a lot. And in the gameplay videos channel here, we have Mr. Doctor with a post titled The House, which is a 1-minute long walkthrough of a horror-esque house. And I thought I'd show this just for fun. Mr. I am 6% Russian made his first mod, and it's just my channel icon. Here's a build that caught my eye by Wisterbin, and it's an entrance, kind of like a vault into a mountain. And so you open that up and you got this very long corridor, and it's styled very nicely too. You got this brick lunar stone, or whatever it's called, with iron supports on the walls and the glowing lights on the walls and the ceiling. I like this a lot because we haven't seen many underground builds, because currently there aren't any caves, any cave generation or anything, so there's not many people building in the underground. And it looks like I'm Mimiest, sorry if I butchered your name, is continuing to release his little horror series on the Moon Man. And I'll say again that this game does lend itself to horror elements pretty well, with the effects that you can create with colored lighting in the game. This post caught my eye as well. It's a little makeshift vehicle. You got the yellow headlights here, you've got the cockpit, and interesting design for the wheels with the vertical log slabs and then the horizontal iron slabs on top of that. And then in the back of the vehicle, you've even got a pickup compartment with logs in it. And Morgan's working on a huge spaceship. And here's some progress on my observatory. It's coming along. And if you have any experience playing the old Doom games, it looks like Zeta Prime 77 made a recreation of the first level of the original Doom game and released it as a map, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested. And I didn't get to talk about mods last time. I got so distracted talking about the different channels. And so I'm going to start with a mod that was released yesterday, which is Unbreakable Blocks and Editable Cake. And this was made as a sort of proof of concept for the last release, which introduced block triggers or actions or events. And that's where, I believe that's where if you right click on a block, you can make something happen. You can basically trigger an event. And in this case, the use case was the cake block from Minecraft, where if you right click it, part of it goes away. And if you right click it enough, the entire thing goes away. And as you probably already know, there's a mod called World Edit. Minecraft had World Edit. It's basically for making very large surfaces or structures in a very short amount of time. If you're into that thing or you want to make big custom maps or something. And this is currently continuing to be updated to newer versions of the game. Here we have a nuclear energy mod. Here's a nice simple mod that adds a big pot of drinkable soup, which I thought I'd mention because I'm tortellini soup. We have a lighting mod for black body lights. Here's a mod that I really should have brought up a while back. It's called Chat and Command, and what it does is, if you see here under features, you press T to open the in-game chat, and you can type various commands. And this continues to be updated. And as many mods are moving from the patch system or kind of outdated ways of modding over to this new fabric system that a lot of people have been using lately, World Edit, or I suppose dubbed Cosmic Edit now, is also moving over to Fabric, so you can get that if you know how to use the Fabric mods. And I did talk about this one during the last community roundup. It's the Cosmic Reach Mod Manager web app. And it seems like development is ongoing with this, and they're continuing to post updates, so keep an eye on this if you're interested. We also have the improved F3 mod, which was one of the first mods that came out, I believe, that did something other than just add textures, but now it's been upgraded for Fabric, which is the more modern way of making game mechanic changes. And as you can see, it just kind of colorizes things and then adds a few more debug labels to the screen. And I suppose one more thing I'll talk about is that I found out this block here is not lava, it's cheese. And that was stunning to me, because it doesn't really look like cheese. I get it, because it's a moon, so you have moon cheese. But come on, that's definitely lava itself. But one thing I would appreciate is if you're going to post threads with mods, one really good thing you could do is make sure you have an image of what your mod actually does, or maybe like a GIF or a video or something. It's way easier for me to read through all of these quickly and showcase them properly and give credit where credit is due if I can actually see a picture of what's going on, or else I'm likely just going to skip it because I don't have the time to download every single mod and try them all out and show them working in game. This is just supposed to be a high-level overview. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.